How's it going, everybody? Ghost Vegeta here. Welcome back to Overwatch 2, and today I am feeling very proud to show you guys this. You guys have seen the title, you guys have seen the thumbnail. I have finally accomplished my goal of making Diamond, something I have never done in Overwatch. I've played since the first few years after the first game came out. The highest I made was Platinum, as was the case in this one. Now, being a support main, I felt like if I was going to make Diamond in one role, it was definitely going to be that one. Well, the wait is finally over, and we are only a couple of ways from the season being over. What a way to finish this season. We are now Diamond 5, guys. And here I'm going to show you one of the matches that led up to me getting Diamond. Now, the bad news is, when I recorded this one live, the audio did not work properly, which was a very unfortunate. But yeah, I didn't notice it until after the match. Thankfully, I was able to fix it. And you guys should be able to see the match where I actually did make Diamond. That will be a live commentary. But anyway, I did want to show you guys this one still. This one was way crazier than the game where I actually did make Diamond. I didn't play as good in the game where I made Diamond, but this one was a lot crazier than the live one you're going to see. And I do want to go on a bit of a coaching session as well. So as you guys can see, I was Zen, and I was Zen the entire match. I did not swap off, even though I felt like I could have, or I was gonna if I needed to. I still put in quite a lot of work with Zen, you know, over 10,000 damage, which was the most in the support role, as you guys can see. And I still had quite a bit of heals, even more than our Moira player. But yeah, guys, so we are going to show this match off, which helped me get to the doorstep of the Diamond ranked. And we're going to do a bit of a coaching session here. Anyway, let's get on with the game. Now, we can fast forward through the waiting parts. What matters is the match itself. Actually, we'll back up a little bit further here. So 3 seconds left. We'll play it at normal speed. So with Zen, you kind of want to play... Well, now that I notice they have a Roadhog, I want to stay back out of hook range. Now, whenever you can't see... That was a beautiful alternate fire there. Whenever you can't see the enemy, you should always use your alternate fire, and then you should always let go when you do see the enemy turn the corner. Whether you're firing 1 or 2 balls even, or orbs, always let go of the alternate fire whenever you see the enemies turn the corner. But anyway, yeah, we're trying to back up and play away from hook range, not to mention the enemies are going forward. So yeah, whenever you turn a corner or whenever your enemies turn a corner, that's when you should let go of the alternate fire. But if you can see the enemies, just hit the primary fire button or tap it. Another nice alternate fire, so we've opened it up with 2 kills. Tank goes down though, so chances of us stopping this payload from touching is probably close to 0. Now right here, I hit the trans thinking that Roadhog was gonna hook me, but it was kind of a wasted trans, because even if he did hook me instead of Kiriko, he would have just thrown me off the bridge anyway. So yeah, that was a very bad trans to start. Not mistakes you can make a whole lot in the rank of Diamond. Because as you guys, you know, this goes without saying, I know. But the higher you get up the ranks, the less margin of error you have. Especially errors like this one, where I had no clue where I was going and didn't go through the door quick enough. So there's my first death of the game. Let's see how I could have prevented it. Like I said, we're going to treat this as a coaching session since we didn't get the live commentary on this one. So after seeing our Mauga go down, well, actually, you know, seeing the enemies walk forward, I should have gone back quicker. So the problem I have is that I always try to fight, which is not a bad idea. But whenever I have my back turned in the direction I'm going, a lot of times I'd get stuck on something, like maybe the street post or on the wall somewhere. So I have the instinct to turn around to look where I'm going. So let's see. That's exactly what I did here. The problem was I didn't go through the door. I don't know if he still would have caught me. There's a good chance he would have. But the bottom line is I should have gone back further a lot quicker than I did to avoid that death. All right, let's just fast forward. Now this match is 21 minutes. Not to mention we're going to be pausing it some. All right, so that was a good alternate fire. We're hitting our alternate fires pretty good so far. We forced their Zen to use trans. So yeah, I like the angle I'm taking here. Just hit the primary fire button.
This ends now.
Now you do want to take cover whenever you hear a Sojourn ult, because the chances of you winning against an ulting Sojourn is slim, even as a tank, because she can just pump out a lot of damage. So yeah, if you ever hear a Sojourn ulting, it's best to just take cover and not try to fight her, because more likely than not, you'll probably lose that fight. Alright, so that time we did a better job getting back when the enemies were going forward. If you can stay alive, always do. You're better off alive, because maybe you might hit a lucky kill with the alternate fire as Zen in my case. So one thing I gotta stop doing is trying to cycle the Harmony Orb as fast as I was there. That might have been a better trans there, but our tank was running to safety. Not to mention Genji has a response. Luckily I was able to kick him away. That's why I love the snap kick perk, as an ulting Reaper and ulting Genji, a lot of times you could just kick them away and then you wouldn't get killed as easily. But right there I do get killed. I tried to take an off angle, and there's why I haven't been doing that much, because the last person I wanted to see there was Roadhog, and that's exactly who I saw there. So instead of trying for an off angle, I probably could have just stayed where I was and used the Fox to fire down on these guys, or maybe even this Sojourn here who's laying down, or this is Genji actually, I'm not sure. I believe he's already dead. So yeah, I could have fired at these two guys here, but instead I try to take an off angle where I end up meeting a Roadhog, and yeah. But those guys were backing up anyway, so I don't know if it would have mattered. Not to mention our Kiri messed up her ult here because she hit the pillar with it. But regardless, I could have just stayed back and then fired at these guys. But it's all good and gravy. So yeah, I shouldn't have gotten greedy. I shouldn't have gone for the off angle there. So yeah, that was definitely a death that could have been prevented. Both deaths could have been so far. Whoops, sorry guys, I went a little too quick there. Alright, so let's slow it down right about here at normal speed. So good use of alternate fire so far. And always use the primary fire when you can see the enemies. You do a lot more damage. Ooh. Okay, well, I killed a tank, but there was a deflecting Genji behind him, so that was just an unlucky one. I'm not really gonna fault myself for that death, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes you will get unlucky. Oh, so we got an ulting Sojourn here. I do a nice job using cover, but she uses that ability. I forget what it's called, but she uses the ability to flush me out of cover. So let's see if we could have done something differently. Now we do a good job right here where we use this pillar for cover. Only I gotta aim better. I probably panicked when I heard her ult. So let's see. So yeah, she uses this ability here Now, I probably might have been able to stay behind this, but I had no idea of knowing that this thing was that close. But anyway, what I could have done instead is just back up to this one, behind this one, especially since our tank was between us there. So yeah, this one could have been prevented. But I was probably thinking my tank was going to stay and fight. But like I said earlier, even as a tank, if you try to fight a Sojourn who's ulting, more likely than not, you're going to die, as I take it right to the dome there. Yeah, that is not good. So yeah, it would have been better to just back up and use this pillar for cover. Oops, that's the wrong Zen. So yeah, that's probably... If I had been able to stay alive there, maybe I could have gotten trans in time to save everybody, because as you can see, I'm already at 95, and I do get it there. No point in using it now, because, you know, even if I did pop it there to avoid dying, he still would have pushed me back into the door, so it wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, dying to that Sojourn ult was not wise on my part. There were alternatives. I didn't have to try to fight her. I could have just tucked back into the back behind the second pillar. So yeah. And there's why it's nice to, you know, go through your games in theater mode, guys. You can always see what you could have done differently to avoid certain situations anyway. Let's speed this up here. Alright, so offensive round, again, open up with an alternate fire. Whenever you can't see the enemies, that's when you should use it. But you should let go of it a lot sooner than I'm doing, though. Whenever you see the enemies, that's about what you should do right there, that last alternate fire. So yeah, let go of it when you can see the enemies. And then obviously when you can't see the enemies, I gotta be back further, because he was definitely trying to hook me there. Thankfully, our Doomfist was in the way. So I got lucky there. I should have been dead. So right here, trying to take an aggressive angle. Great deflect by the Genji, though. Gotta back up, recover health, which is good. Nice little follow-up on the alternate fire. Aside from not letting go of the alternate fire a lot of times when I see them, I'm doing pretty good with it. I don't know how Genji lived through that, by the way. Alright. Damage is damage, guys. Whenever you see them, let go of the alternate fire or use your primary fire. So we can see the enemies, so it's nice to use primary fire here. Because you do a lot more damage with your primary fire than your alternate fire, believe it or not. But yeah, we racked up a lot of damage there, and our team was able to clean it up. Now, what we should be doing there is trying to move forward and do damage. I'm not sure what I was doing there, holding still, but yeah. It's nice to get into position like this and try to do some damage, though, instead of just sitting like I was doing earlier. Because if we're going to stay in Diamond, we're going to need to do some things better. And that's one of them. Try to do more damage as we're waiting. Right here, pretty good primary fire kill there. A good use of cover, too. We did get saved by our Moira, though. So we are using cover pretty well. I am liking my positioning in a lot of cases, and I am liking the fact that I'm using cover a lot more. And right there, another lucky break. Because I think he was going for me there. I wasn't backed up far enough. Thankfully, our Doomfist was able to shield me again. And then the second time he tried it. Right here, I need to back up. That time I was back far enough, just barely. But right here, I thought about popping trans, but we had a lot of low targets all spread out, so it wasn't worth it. But what I should have done was back up the minute I saw my teammates going down. So let's look at that again. So I probably should have stayed back in this position here the minute I saw our team going down, because we had yeah, once I saw these three go down, I should have just backed up. It might not have made a difference, and I probably could have popped trans to save myself, but I don't think it would have been worth it since I was the only one alive. All right, let's fast forward.
A temporary setback.
The payload stopped. Must get it moving again.
Oops, a little bit too far forward, but this is good enough. All right, so right here I do pop trans just to make sure our tank can stay alive. I should have backed up a lot sooner than that, though. And the Genji jumps right on my head. I don't know how he ended up there when I kicked him. But yeah, I lost sight of him and he was able to kill me. So let's go back and look at that again. Let's see how I could have avoided this death. So yeah, I think right there when I saw the Moira drop to critical, I thought I could save her with my trans instead of backing up, you know, back near the water in a safe spot. Because, yeah, I was trying to save the Moira, I think, and that made me go up too far forward to where they were able to jump on me like this. And it is pretty hard to deal with a Genji that can just jump all over the place like that. So yeah, I could have avoided that death if I had just backed up while I was in the last few seconds of my trans.
He is an excellent teacher.
Alternate fire whenever you can't see the enemies, but there's no reason to shuffle your harmony orb around either like that. You want to keep it mainly on one person, because if you just shuffle it around like that, it's not really going to make a whole lot of difference, because the harmony orb is very, very slow at healing. So yeah, hard to hit shots that far with Zen, but you know, with the Roadhog right at the gate, we didn't have much options. So yeah, trying to stay back, trying to stay at a hook range, which is good. Now, I don't know where the Roadhog is, but the Genji's going down. Now, I'm still on edge. I'm looking for that Roadhog. Yep, I checked behind me to make sure he wasn't there. But right here, I do see him, so I can play a little bit more forward since he's back near the doors. But right here, an ulting Genji, we get a nice alternate fire on him and a nice kick. And our Moira's able to clean him up. Now we got an ulting Curie and Roadhog, and also a Sojourn who's ulting. I should have taken cover there, which I do there. We get a nice alternate fire, though. Trying my best to save my tank. Good job keeping the Harmony Orb on him. But right here, pop trans to save my healer. Just get there in time. That was a much, much better trans than any other ones we've had this game. And our Reaper's able to come in to clean it up with his ult. So very nice finish there. I like the way I finished that round. I was using cover. Probably could have gotten cover sooner when that Sojourn ulted. But we were doing our part. We were doing damage. We had the orb on our tank, and we used trans to save our main healer, which was good. So we can fast forward through this part. So 2 minutes to 2:25, still anybody's ball game. So yeah, pretty good. Alternate fire. Probably shouldn't aim at flying enemies as Zen though, unless you ain't got no choice. But if you have options, don't ever shoot a flying enemy. Right here, I'm trying to get an angle on Moira to give her the orb. Yeah, Sojourn made a mistake there. She got greedy. Saw our tank was low, tried to clean it up, but costed her life. So yeah, some of the other players made mistakes there. That was how we were able to push up and win that team fight. Moira's got to be careful, though. The other players are coming. Good use of cover there, staying in between the... by the statue and the walls there. Good job crouching in cover when we were low. Tried to do it again there, but that time I was a little too high. But thankfully our soldier's there to flank the Sojourn. Good discord on the Roadhog. I should have kept it on him, though. I should have shot at that turret there. I would have killed it a lot quicker than Moira would. That's a good trans, though. I like that trans. Avoid the Roadhog ult. Keep touching the payload. Discord the Roadhog. Keep it on him. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Was he on the boat? Hold on, I gotta see that again. I think that Roadhog, it looked like he fell off, but I think he landed right on this boat. Here, let's see that again. Yeah, he was on the boat. Got stuck under the bridge, too. And then he ends up going in the water. Yeah, that was pretty cool, though, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, now we're trying to get in position to do damage. Always hold your alternate fire. I'm not sure what I was doing there. Good use of cover, though. Whenever you're falling near half, you should always get into cover before you get caught off guard and die pretty quickly. Because especially when you get to these ranks, a lot of these guys aren't going to miss a whole lot of shots. Good use of cover, though, away from the High Noon, or the Deadeye. But it's overtime. Felt like I had to try and touch. But that's still a pretty good push, considering we only had 2 minutes, though.
4-3. Switching sides.
Alright, so... that was a pretty good distance from where we were.
5-4-3.
Now we just gotta hold them. Now, I'm expecting them to have a Roadhog still, so I'm keeping my distance. This is definitely not... we're definitely in the part of the game where a careless death is gonna hurt a lot if you're not careful. But now I see they have a Zarya, but the same rules still apply. Stay out of her beam range, because if you're within her beam range, she will annihilate you. Right here, I wanted to follow up my Sen, and that was a smart choice. Sim was able to take her out with our help pretty quickly, too. Good alternate fire. Landed a headshot. Nearly got their Sojourn. Another good alternate fire. That follows up the kill. So yeah, normally I shouldn't fire at targets in the air, but Freya was the only target there, so I had to try. Got hit by her arrow, have to take cover, which is good. Nearly got a kill there with the alternate fire, so pretty good there. Right here, our tank gets caught in an awkward position. Great play by their tank to block him away from the door, though. Alright, so teammates down, we have to back up. Got stuck there. Thankfully, they didn't see me, or I probably would have had to pop trans. Trying to get a sneaky alternate fire in there, but didn't see no one. Trying to stay in cover best I can, especially since I'm below half. Saw my tank was low. We had trans, so we could play aggressively there. Not to mention they don't have a Roadhog anymore, or a Zarya, so it's not a bad idea to play aggressive with trans. But if you're facing a Roadhog, I wouldn't recommend it, since he can still kill you if he hooks you before you can pop it. Right here, I should have just shot until I had an angle for the Harmony Orb, but team cleans it up. They only have about 10 seconds left, and they gotta touch quickly. They are in panic mode, so they're gonna have to touch quickly. Not able to touch, though, and we are able to win. And like I said, guys, that was the game that put me on the doorstep to making the diamond rank. So the next match you're going to see, it is a live one. And that's the one where I did make diamond. So obviously there's no spoilers since you guys have seen the title and the thumbnail. But yeah, guys, that was game 1. Sorry I could not record that live. It was a crazy game, as you guys just saw. And we had a pretty good game for the most part. We had over 10,000 damage and still pretty good heals. So, yeah, that is going to do it for this game at least, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. And leave some tips in the comments below. I would enjoy them, especially since Diamond is new territory for me. So those of you that are ranked in Diamond or higher, I would love tips if you're watching this. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoy the next match. My name's Ghost Vegeta, and I will see you in a second. How's it going, everybody? Ghost Vegeta here. Welcome back to Overwatch 2. So today we are 1 win away from Diamond, guys. So we're hoping to get it here. I'm gonna try Ana. Now this won't be like a whole lot of other well, pretty much all my other videos where I just use one character. I will swap if I need to, but bottom line is we are 1 win away from Diamond, guys. So we're hoping to get it. I've never been Diamond before in Overwatch, never in Overwatch 1, and so far not in Overwatch 2. I have been Diamond, though, in Marvel Rivals, and I'm hoping to carry that out in Overwatch. Now, Overwatch is the game I've played more than Marvel Rivals, but the same things apply. So one thing I have gotten better at is taking cover and positioning. And some things I do need to work on is, well, the main thing I need to work on is not rushing my abilities and my shots. If I can do that, I'll make Diamond for sure. These guys are a little bit further back than I think you want to be. But we'll, okay. I think I hear a Genji. I don't know if that's ours. Yep, that's theirs. That was a juicy nade. I kept my Mei alive and I, tried to get the, Alright, back up. Alright. We held that for quite a while, though. Alright, let's see if we can get better positioning here. Yeah.
This is not the end.
Alright, got our nano. Alright, I need to get up on high ground. Hopefully I can. Nice, got her.
You, Angela.
Alright, that kill on Mercy was huge.
Warp across the stars with your
We got enough time to reposition here. I don't know where that Genji is, though, is the problem. Definitely back up here.
Heroes never die.
Keeping my distance away from Rom. Nice, alright. I knew he was gonna... We're keeping our distance and we're positioning much better. That's why we're doing so, even though our heals are only 800.
I'm actually on fire.
Keep fighting.
Alright, get back out the door. I have a pretty awkward angle here.
I'm standing up. Incoming.
I grew tired of fighting alone.
That anti-nade helped her out.
My rockets are fuel.
I'm here. Keep fighting.
I'm on fire. That's just regulation.
Alright.
Stand up straight.
major power unlocked. 60 seconds remaining.
Enemy speed thrusters.
You are safe with me. Hold on. Press them.
Oh, come on. I thought I could eat. I thought I could, anti her before I,
I see you.
Freeze! Don't move.
They don't have much time.
definitely taking cover from that. Alright. He forced him to use his ult. That's fine. Alright.
Stop the payload.
Stand up straight. Stop the payload.
Je me sens vivant.
Watch out! I'm standing high. You're welcome.
Do something. Nerf this.
We have superior numbers.
Oh, come on. It did it that far?
Please, don't move.
Alright.
Complete. Score 0-1. Switching sides. Prepare to attack.
Well, this ain't the best game, guys, but it's certainly not the worst. Even though my heals are really low, we're making up for it with some pretty good nades and good positioning. But Mercy is healing so good that even with the fact that I have just a little over 2,000, we still have as much heals as them. They have more. Actually, we have more heals than them.
We will dig them out. Weather report. Lots of sun.
But yeah, I need to stop rushing my shots. That's the main reason why I'm inaccurate, is because I try to rush my shots.
Does everyone know?
If I could just take my time and not panic as much, I could probably do a lot better. So that's what we're gonna try to do here. Just be patient with our shots.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack.
All right, here we go.
Capture objective A.
I'll execute them all.
Yep, be patient. Okay, stop. There we go. Careful now.
I stand with you.
I am sorry about that, I guess. Have a look.
I won't let you fall.
Nice.
Always something.
Fight here and fight hard.
I don't know where that Ash went. Alright. Land some shots in their tank. Oh, wow. Their tank is gonna jump on me here any second. Alright. Using cover.
Captured. Escort the payload.
Very nice. That cover is what saved my life. That's what I'm doing really well. And that's the main reason why I'm this close to diamond. That's the main reason. Oh wow, I should have hit that one though. Alright, we gotta reposition here. Yeah, I think Widow's going down. No point using my nade. Okay. I did not think she would be able to...
Do something.
Wow. And I did not expect to put Mercy to sleep. I was going for the Ashe since she was holding still. But yeah, being a little bit more patient is helping me out. It's helping me hit more. She's gonna recall. Where are they at?
My payload moving. Pile on.
Alright.
Let me reload. Cut them out.
May's getting bumped.
Stay on the payload. I'm on the payload. Get over here.
Wow. Don't have my sleep. Alright. There we go. Alright, I got Nano. I've held on to it way too long, though. Alright. Let's position ourselves here. That Winston's gonna jump me, though, if I stay here. We're looking for the res, yep.
Victory.
Well, that was a pretty good offensive round, guys, and with that, we are now officially Diamond. It wasn't the best game, but it certainly wasn't the worst. But yeah, even that Zen was aiming for me, but I was using cover so well that he couldn't hit me, and there it is, guys. Diamond 5. It's been a long time coming, and we finally got there.